The Poundcast is in part sponsored by Mint Mobile.
2025 is here, and Mint Mobile has a resolution for you. And that resolution is to save some serious money by making the switch to Mint Mobile. And right now, you can get half off their 3-month unlimited plan until February 2nd. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free,
go to mintmobile.com/poundcast. That's mintmobile.com/poundcast. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
This episode of the Poundcast is in part brought to you by Louisville Vegan Jerky Company. They make Louisville Vegan Jerky. That's right. It's meatless, soy-based jerky, and you can find them at lvjco.com. And they have lots of different flavors you can choose from, such as buffalo hot wing, pepperoni pizza, smoky Carolina barbecue, and they also have limited edition flavors that they come out with every month. And the newest flavor, perfect for the holiday season, is honey glazed ham. Okay? To quote the website, this is a juicy, savory ham flavor topped with a sweet glaze that deliciously balances the saltiness. And get this, 10% of sales of this flavor go to the Dare to Care Food Bank, which has been helping out families in Kentucky for the past 55 years. So if you order on the website and use the code word Poundcast, you get 20% off your order. Now, this stuff is bagged in the United States. It has a shelf life of 9 months, and you don't have to order it online. If you want to order it in person at stores, you can find it at places like Whole Foods and Sprouts. And just check out their website, lvjco.com. Once again, use the code word Poundcast and get 20% off your order. Welcome to the Poundcast. My name is Brent Weinbach, and I'm here with my cousin Ryan. Welcome, cousin Ryan.
Thanks, cousin Brent.
This is kind of different. I don't usually have audience. I don't have extended family members on usually, and I don't know. I thought maybe this could be just to shake things up a little bit. Have a cousin on,
Yeah, who knows? You might want other cousins on here after today.
No, I know. It might just be a cousin podcast after this.
Cousin cast.
Cousin cast, yeah. So Ryan, there's a lot that I can ask you about. Ryan is a marathon runner, okay? And I guess I have a lot of questions about marathon running. But so we're going to talk about that. But also I would describe you as a Disney parks expert.
Yeah. All the way back to probably when we were kids.
Yeah.
We used to go to Disneyland together a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I feel like you know a lot about Disney parks and a lot of secrets. And I don't know. So we can go in a couple different directions here. Let's start with the marathon running, though.
Oh, okay.
And actually, you got into marathon running because of Disney parks.
Yeah, that's right. It does have a Disney beginning to it.
Yeah. So, all right, you started marathon running because you, on a kind of a dare almost or a whim, you did a Disneyland marathon, and that was just a half marathon or something?
It was a half marathon. So for those of you maybe not in the know, it's 13.1 miles. And I actually didn't want to do a half marathon.
Because you weren't a particularly, would you say, athletic person or what at that time?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Like I actually... I at least I thought I hated running.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, Jay, who I worked with back in my early days at NBC.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, let's run the Disneyland half marathon," and I was really reluctant. I actually turned him down a few times, but he kept pressuring me to do it, and I gave in.
Why did he want you to do it so much?
Well, I think he wanted to do it. And
he only wanted to do it if you did it?
Possibly, but he definitely wanted both of us to do it, and so I gave in. And then,
and what did you think? Did you think I don't want to run for 2 hours or however long you have to run for?
Yeah,
how long does it take to do 13?
Well, I didn't have a time goal in mind for this. Like I didn't know how long it would take to do a half marathon.
I mean, I guess I would think a mile takes 15 minutes to run, right? For a regular person?
I think back then I was looking at possibly, I don't know, 11, 12 minutes per mile.
Oh, okay, yeah. Back then,
yeah.
Okay,
as far as what we believed our fitness level was at.
Yeah.
And so we would get out and train. And
oh, you did train for it?
Yeah, but we trained the best way we knew how. We just didn't have a structured plan. So we would just go out and run these distances. And I remember thinking how hard it was just to run 4 miles. I mean, it was just so overwhelming.
Yeah. yes. I used to, I hated running. I mean, look, no offense, but I do kind of hate running because I used to have to do the 20-minute run in junior high, and it made me sick afterwards. I felt sick after the 20-minute run. I had to do 4.5 laps to get an A.
Did they require some kind of time goal from you, or you just had to get out and do
we had to get 4.5 laps to get an A. We had to do that within 20 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I don't know how many miles that was, but it was, afterwards, I would feel so sick afterwards. And I every time, we had to do it every week.
Yeah.
I hated it. Running made me feel bad.
I actually think that's unfair for them to put a time requirement on somebody who may not have any experience running. You know, it's really important to, when you get out there to do your run, just go at an easy pace. Some people, that easy pace might be a little faster or some a little slower, but you should go at your easy pace.
Well, I think you could go however fast you wanted to go or whatever pace you wanted to go, but you would just get lower grades. So I could, if I wanted to get a C, sure, I can I can walk probably. Yeah. But there were a couple guys who I ran with because they seemed to keep a good pace, and I don't know, they were pretty athletic guys, and I kind of wanted to. I thought I'll just go run with these guys because they seem to be doing it right, you know. But I would feel bad afterwards, though.
No, don't feel bad.
I can feel it in my body and my mind still, the way I felt when I can still imagine. I felt like this feeling of almost wanting to throw up or something, you know? Did you feel that way at first?
No, I did run once a 10K, and I felt like I was about to throw up.
Oh, really?
I don't know why. But
wait,
it's
that was before this Disneyland?
This was actually kind of a few years after I first ran a half marathon. I ran a 10K, and at the finish line, I just felt it. But that was the only time that ever happened. And
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, why would one feel that way? Dehydration or no?
It could be a dehydration. You probably did not have the right nutrition going in. You also could have eaten something that is not settled. You know, before you do a run, if you're going to eat something that requires some level of digestion, you want to do it maybe an hour to an hour and a half before you get out and run. If you're going to,
you eat light before you do your marathons, right?
I do, but I eat early, so I'll eat almost a normal breakfast if I'm a few hours out from the run. But then closer to the run, you want to eat something that's more easily digestible.
Okay, look, I was going to save this question for later, but I'm just got to know though. What happens when you're on a marathon, and when your marathons, when you're doing a full marathon, those are a couple hours or 3 hours long?
Full marathon, 26.2 miles. So that for me, I had to work that time down. So currently, I started a marathon. My first marathon was 4 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've since then have become more serious about it and have trained with a coach who's helped me knock it down to my fastest personal record is a 2 hour and 56 marathon.
Okay, so let's say 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you ate a meal, and I'm just thinking that in that 3 hours you might need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so what gives? What happens?
You just go. If you
so you do.
Well, there's porta potties along the way.
But that will mess your time up, right?
It does. It's a little bit of a setback. Like I actually try to get it all out before the start line, before the start of the race, and I would say about 90% of the time I'm successful, and
you don't have to go.
I don't have to go the entire race, but sometimes you do. And the last time I had to do it was last March in Tokyo. I ran the Tokyo Marathon, and But, for that race, I wasn't really running it for time. So I was just getting out to do the best I could do, but not really hit. If I didn't hit my time, I wasn't worried about it. So it was okay that.
So at a certain point, do you think, I'm not going to make my time. I can just go to the bathroom because this one.
Yeah, but like going into the race, I think to myself, okay, what kind of goal do I have for this race? Am I going for my best time? And if I'm going for my best time, my personal record, then I definitely want to do my best to not go to the bathroom.
You definitely want to go to the bathroom. You want to do your best to go to the bathroom before you get on the road.
Definitely.
It reminds me of the classic story. I don't know if you remember the story that our Aunt Jenny used to tell about me having to go to the bathroom on the road.
I think I know this story and where you're going.
Well, anyway, it reminds me of that.
Okay.
Where you have to. It's when your parents or whoever or your elders said, "Okay, you got to go to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
We're going to get on the road, and you're not going to be able to go to the bathroom now for hours,
Yeah.
or whatever." There's no bathrooms on the road or something
Yeah.
like that. Even though there ended up being a bathroom that we stopped at, but it's kind of like that. You got to go get it all out beforehand. Do you force yourself to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, I definitely do.
Just out of curiosity, do you force yourself to go poo poo?
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
You force yourself to go poo poo before that?
Well, I actually wake up like early enough to have my breakfast, have some coffee, have some electrolytes, and then do my first poo poo. And then sometimes you get a second wave
of poo-poo.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the first one is kind of a solid one, your normal one.
Right,
and
that's the cork.
Yeah, and then once the core is gone, you might have to do a second one, and that one's like looser.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do you experience that?
I didn't say core. I said cork.
Oh, I thought it said cork.
The cork comes out,
the cork comes out.
then that's why it's looser. And yes, I know that technique. Yeah, because once you uncork, the juice is loose.
Yeah, the juice is loose. Yeah.
It really is kind of like getting uncorked. Now, the thing is, are you okay? Have you ever did you ever have diarrhea on the road?
No, thankfully, no.
So you were,
but it happens.
Right, to people.
Yeah.
And have you seen people? Actually, here's a question.
Yeah.
This is really the question I wanted to ask. Have you or has anyone ever gone to the bathroom in their pants because they wanted to get a good time?
That happens, but I'm more aware of accidents that have happened, but I do hear of people who purposely do it because they don't want to stop at a porta potty and they just let loose.
So, do you have you had gone pee before in your pants because you wanted to get a good time?
I've never done that. I've never had to. If for some reason for me, like if I feel the urge, I'll just stop. I'm not, but
you have stopped, and you stopped in Tokyo?
Yeah, I stopped in Tokyo. Yeah. Like I had to go at like mile 6, and then I stopped at a group, like a station of porta potties, but they were all occupied. Like I was okay stopping, but I didn't want to like burn up a lot of time waiting for one to open up.
Right.
So there is actually a race. Like volunteer there helping the runners, and I just
helping them pee.
Yeah,
and poo and wipe.
Yeah, they're very helpful in Tokyo, by the way. Yeah. So I told the guy I gotta go. So I took off to find the next one I could find. So I finally found like a larger group of porta potties about mile 8.
Yeah,
and I was able to just jump right into one. And then but their porta potties are a little different with the way the door locks, and so I remember getting in it and doing my thing, and then I could not figure out how to open the door.
Oh no.
And I was jiggling it, but there's a volunteer out there, and he heard me having trouble. He was about to come over, and but
he was coming over to wipe anyway.
Yeah, well, they're really helpful in Japan.
Yeah.
So he did it. He actually was about to reach for the door, but I actually opened it just in time.
Okay. And the guy said, "Oh, I was just about." Yeah, what did he say? He said, "Oh, okay."
He just smiled at me. I just waved, and I was on my way.
So now, do you? I imagine I think you're kind of I don't know, fairly germ conscious as I am. Is that a concern at all when you're going to the porta potty? Do you think it seems dirty at all?
I just do my best because there's only so much you can do, right? So like when I have to touch a handle on a porta potty, I just I'll touch probably the least likely part where someone has touched.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just like use my pinky finger.
Yeah.
That's the best I could do.
Because the pinky finger is the least likely finger for you to put in your mouth or somewhere else,
Because keep in mind during the race, like, I have to fuel, so I have food or these gels that I've got to tear into, and I want to make sure that I'm not touching the part.
Because the pinky isn't ripping.
The pinky does not rip. Yeah.
Yeah, the pinky's more of an accessory finger. It's more just for show.
It really is.
Actually, I would say the ring finger is the least active finger.
You think we can live without that one?
Well, out of the pinky for me is actually kind of stronger. I mean, it's definitely stronger than the ring finger. I think actually, in fact, because the ring finger is called the ring finger, and all it seems to do is just show off a ring.
Yeah.
I kind of think maybe you ought to start opening things with your ring finger.
Let's see. No, I feel like
there's not enough strength.
I feel like the pinky is least likely to touch things that, like if you're picking up a piece of like a food or whatever, I think the pinky is least likely to touch that piece of food.
That's probably true too. And then I guess when you're holding a cup or whatever, you can kind of do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, do you bring Purell and stuff with you when you're running? And can you bother with that when you're running?
No, because you can't.
You don't bother with that. Okay.
You can't bother with it.
But do you have water on you?
A lot of times I will bring water with me in a race, and then I'll just chuck the bottle when it's empty. But it will be like a handheld with a strap on it, and I've been known to sometimes throw it once I'm done. Or
where do you throw it?
I'll just in a trash can, or
are there a lot of trash cans along the way?
If you go to a water station, like I just try to bypass a lot of the early water stations because those are the most crowded.
Yeah.
So if I have my own water bottle, I can just keep going, and then as the race progresses, the water stations become less and less busy, so it's easier to grab a cup at those water stations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then do you feel like the water weighs you down at all?
It doesn't bother me.
It's not slowing you down in any way.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
and you've got power bars on you?
I have they're these gels. They're like
what kind of gel?
I wish I brought one to show you.
Really? What are they? Are they look like toothpaste or something?
I want to say they look like these maybe like really small toothpaste tubes.
Yeah.
But and you tear the top open, you can squeeze it from the bottom and just kind of take it as you go.
What is it like? Is it fruit?
Yeah, actually, some of them are flavored.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. The one I've been using lately, and I'm actually thinking of switching out of these. But the one I've been using lately it's called Honey Stinger, and
tastes like honey.
I like them because they're a little bit more natural. You don't have a lot of artificial garbage.
Well, what are these things? Are they? There's protein in them?
No, it's more about quick digestible carbs and sugars to keep you going. Because what happens is in a marathon distance race, if you don't fuel every 30 minutes or so, you start to use up the fuel that's stored in your muscles, known as glycogen. So you don't want to deplete your muscles' glycogen, because once that's gone, you can no longer perform to what you trained for. So the gels help give you the glucose that you need to avoid from pulling from those glycogen stores. Because you want to save that for as long as possible.
Have you ever run out of glycogen?
Glycogen, I have.
What is it called? Glycogen?
Glycogen, yeah.
Glycogen, okay.
Yeah. I want to say yes. It happened in one race.
Is there any place to fill up on glycogen?
Glycogen stores are only restored when, it's a long process.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why before a race you want to do your carb loads, like load up on carbs 2 or 3 days beforehand. Going into a marathon.
You load up on, so eating carbohydrates gives you more glycogen?
Yes. And that helps top it off.
Do you ever kind of say glycs for short? Oh, no. I got a lot of glycs from that. No. I got a lot of glycs from that last carb that I ate.
No, but now I'm going to start using that if you don't mind.
Got some glycs.
I might take that.
Oh, yeah. You should get some likes. You should just get some glycs. I got a lot of glycs on that last gel blast or whatever it is. The gel blast. Now the gel blaster, that's just sugar.
It's
and carbs.
It's sugar and carbs. Yeah, it's probably about, I'm going to say like close to 24 grams of carbs in each.
So carbs give you energy.
Yeah.
You know what? I was eating pasta the other day, and I felt a lot more. I had pasta in the middle of the day, and I felt like I had a lot more energy that day. That's because I got glycs, I guess, right?
Yeah, the thing is though, like if you are taking in the carbs, you'll get energy immediately, but then if you're not using it, you could definitely crash on the other end of it.
You got to use it.
Yeah, I recommend using it if you can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do recommend it.
Damn, I got to use my...
Yeah, use your glycs.
I got to use my glycs.
Yes.
Oh man, that's... Yeah, because what happens if you have too much glyc?
Well, once you're topped off on your glycogen, then I might be wrong about this, but I believe that's when you start storing it as fat. So, yeah.
Just wanted to take a moment right now to mention that this episode of the Poundcast is in part brought to you by Mint Mobile.
It's a new year, and Mint Mobile has a New Year's resolution for you. Save money. And you can do that by switching to Mint Mobile and getting half off their 3-month unlimited plan.
I've been using Mint Mobile for years, and whenever I see my friend's phone bill, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? My friends are like, I can't go to the movies tonight, Doug. My phone bill's too high. I say, just get Mint Mobile and we can all go to the movies. Come on. Another plus of Mint Mobile is that you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan, and you can bring along your phone number as well as all your existing contacts.
And all plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint, and new customers get half off an unlimited plan until February 2nd. To get the new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free,
go to mintmobile.com/poundcast. That's mintmobile.com/poundcast. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. And back to the episode.
Okay. So have you ever been running?
Yeah.
And you see somebody in front of you and you just start seeing liquid coming out of their shorts?
No, I have been fortunate enough not to.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Don't you kind of want to see that in a way? You never saw any poo come out.
No,
of somebody.
but I just know a race that I ran back in 2023, I think, or 22. I didn't see it personally, but there was video of this one. I want to say almost elite runner.
Oh, really?
And
elite.
And she had, it was coming down her leg for sure. And
Wait, poo or pee?
It looked like mud.
Oh.
Okay, but there is no mud on the course.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but she did really well.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Was it worth it?
I think for her it was worth it. I don't know if it was by accident,
right?
Or if she intentionally did that because she didn't want to stop. But I'll tell you this: when I was in Tokyo last year, I heard about another guy who had the same issue. And in Tokyo, they will not let you continue if they see that.
Really?
And they will pull you off the course. And
really,
he was trying to evade the race volunteers.
Hold on a second. You mean he had poo running down his leg?
He did.
And people are trying to get him?
Yeah, they were trying to get him.
That's kind of hard to get when he's got poo on his legs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's probably more evadable or evasive if he's got poo on him.
I think that if he got to the finish line, I don't know. I think they would have disqualified his results anyway.
Yeah.
So
because they just don't want people getting mud or whatever on, human mud all on the on the land basically.
Japanese culture is a lot different.
They're cleaner.
They're really a lot cleaner society, and so they will not tolerate that on the course.
But maybe in the United States, those races, they love the mud.
Yeah, in the United States, we're a little bit more about the mud.
At Boston, they'd love the mud.
I would say you could probably get away with that in Boston.
Is Boston the most prestigious marathon in the United States?
It is very well known. It's probably the most prestigious, and that just happens to be because of their qualifying standards.
And you've done it 3 times?
I'm going for my 5th this April.
5th, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Do you feel really honored when you qualify for Boston?
I do, because I didn't know I would ever set out to accomplish this goal of qualifying. And when I started running in either 2012 or 2013, that I told you about at Disneyland, I never expected to progress this far.
Yeah.
What happens is, for a lot of people, goals, they start kind of small, and then you just kind of get better and better, and you start to realize, okay, well, maybe I've got the potential to take it the next level. And
after that first race at Disneyland, there must have been something about it that you enjoyed or that you liked, right? I mean, what was that?
It was just the satisfaction of finishing, even though that particular half marathon was terrible.
Wait, what was your time on that?
I want to say probably just under 4 hours. Like it took longer to get through that half marathon than it did to finish a full-length marathon.
Right. Right. No, if your best time is about 3 hours for a full-length marathon, and then you took almost 4 hours to do a half marathon, that's a huge improvement.
Yeah, it was just the feeling of crossing the finish line, and I don't care how long it took. It was very satisfying.
Did you walk some of that time?
Definitely. Like, we just did not have the fitness to to run it continuously.
And you and Jay you guys kind of ran side by side. You were kind of with each other the whole time?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then actually we had another friend with us. Her name is Brittany, and we all finished together, all 3 of us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So no one tried to beat each other at the very last minute just to get past the finish line they could just...
I remember we actually joined arms, all 3 of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
and we all finished at the same time.
You guys kind of did a chorus line type thing, kicked your legs up to pass the thing. And now I guess that was kind of fun. They closed the park down for this?
No. The goal is for them to get the race, all runners, through the parks early enough so that they can open the park on time.
That'd be kind of an interesting obstacle challenge, or a kind of a challenge to have the race happen while the park is open with regular people just out and about, and you have to. That's part of it too, is dodging them.
Well, they did that. They do that at Walt Disney World. It's for the full length marathon, I believe. The tail end of the marathon is coming through Epcot while the park is already open. So they,
oh, really?
Yeah. They have the course coned off.
They do have it coned, yeah. But I was thinking it'd be kind of interesting if you're kind of dodging people and stuff. But,
yeah. No,
it would be too dangerous. But
yeah.
So you like the feeling of accomplishment, and it made you feel like you wanted to keep doing this.
Yeah.
You thought, I want to try to do a full marathon.
Well, not that soon.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't thinking full marathons. I just thought, I could keep doing these Disney races because Disney races are fun, and they're a great way to get started. Introduce yourself into running because they make it enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I figured I could just keep doing this, and then it'll help keep me moving. I could train and stay in shape, and I just kept it going. And then one day in 2017, they announced that they were stopping the races in Anaheim at Disneyland.
Oh.
And so I was like, well, I'm not going to let that...
Oh, you only were doing Disney races?
I was only doing Disney races. That's all I knew. I was like in this... I was in this Disney bubble when it came to races. Like I wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of other runners who do run Disney, they're the same way.
Yeah.
And I needed a push to get out into the kind of the real world not to say that Run Disney is not real world, but it's, I just needed them to stop the races.
It's a simulation of a world.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
especially Disney World.
Yeah. So I signed up for my first race outside of Disney, and then I just kept it going.
So, okay, it's kind of interesting because I feel like you used to go, when you went on vacations, it was only to, usually Disney World in Florida.
Yeah.
And now that you've started running, you're now traveling all over the world. And it's because of Disney kind of too. It's just kind of interesting how, because I feel like, you would, usually Las Vegas too. You would go to Las Vegas and Disney World for vacations, right? But now you're kind of, not that these are exactly vacations, but they are kind of pleasurable trips though. Aside from the race, you get to see these other cities and stuff around the world. Mm-hmm. It's interesting because Disney World and Las Vegas are both kind of like these simulations of the world. It's like at Epcot Center, International Land. They have these simulations of different parts of the world, but and it's kind of like that in Las Vegas also, with the different, there's New York and there's, I don't know, there's just these different, there's Venice and Paris or whatever. And but now you're going to these places. You're actually going to the real places, and it's because of the Disney that's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, it kind of forces me to travel, because otherwise I just don't have any motivation to get out and see certain places. Yeah. So it forced me to go and visit Japan. Yeah. And
Tokyo Disneyland.
Yeah, at Tokyo Disneyland, which is just an amazing, park. And then, of course, visit Chicago for the first time, and then, hopefully Boston, of course. I've become quite familiar with Boston. Yeah, I've been there 4 times already, and I'd like to do New York City at some point, and then let's see, Berlin, London.
What's the best? You haven't done London?
No, not yet.
But you want to?
I will eventually.
What's your favorite course?
Well, those are sort of the World Marathon majors. Mm-hmm. I would say, as far as experience, as far as like the atmosphere and the level of excitement from the fans, it's definitely Boston. Oh yeah, it's just overwhelming. It's just over the top. But as far as a course where I can work on my personal best, probably the California International Marathon in Sacramento, which takes place the first weekend of December. Uh-huh. That tends to be where I do my best.
What makes a good course? Is it just the excitement from the fans, or is there certain courses that have fun scenery to look at and stuff?
Well, of course, downhill races help a lot of runners, and so they're gonna, probably gravitate toward those types of races. I don't want to go too extreme on the downhill, because I want something that's a little bit more fair. Mm-hmm. I don't want a fully, just downhill course that gives me a huge advantage. I want a real test of my fitness. So I would go for either a flat course or a course that is a little bit more fair. Like if it has some downhills, then there's going to be your fair amount of uphills as well.
So you just think that the downhill course is unfair?
It's just for me personally. Like other people, like if somebody else wants to do that kind of a race, I think, for them, whatever their goal is, then they should be able to run that race. But for me personally, I would like to go with something that's not an extreme downhill race, and which I have done one of those before. It was down Mount Charleston in just outside of Vegas. And I don't regret doing it. I got a really
What's
fast.
Unfair about it? You think it's too easy?
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier.
And do you think when you're going downhill, are you thinking to yourself, man, I'm cruising?
Yeah. You do.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're faster than you normally are?
You are, but I mean,
Are you ever afraid if you're going downhill of kind of tripping and rolling over? And does it ever happen to people?
I've tripped in my training runs, but I've not tripped in a race.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
have you hurt yourself pretty bad?
I did. I actually, like more than a month ago, I was in Texas, and I was doing a morning run, and I tripped and fell on a sidewalk, and I had to go to like urgent care and get that all cleaned up. Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Did you? What do you? You run 4 days a week, right?
5
days a week.
Yeah.
And you run 2 hours a day or something?
It just depends on how long it takes. Like tomorrow, I have to run 16 miles, so that's I'm going to say about a 2.5 hour run for me.
And you told me this before that sometimes you don't want to run, but you do it anyway.
Right.
So you don't enjoy it, but you do it anyway?
Sometimes I don't want to do it. Like a lot of times I do enjoy the run. Other times I don't, but your success is based on consistency. Is there
people say there's a runner's high? Is that a thing that you've experienced? Is that real?
Maybe. I never take note of it.
Uh-huh.
I just know that some runs feel pretty good.
That you feel good from it.
Yeah. Like
what? How do you feel?
I don't know.
You feel uplifted?
Maybe. I just feel like when I'm just cruising along, when it feels effortless in a way, then I'm like, okay, this is a really good day. But then other days I may not. I actually just a week and a half ago, I was at Walt Disney World running the half marathon there, and I had a series of nights where I did not get really good sleep because there were noises on the floor above me.
Oh, it was the Main Street Electrical Parade was doing an after party.
They do, and they're known for that. These after parties.
Yeah, they all come wearing all their lights and everything, and they keep the lights on all night or whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, if I don't get enough rest, in the days going up to the race or a run, then I may not have a good race, and I'm just trying to get through it. I'm just suffering through it.
And what do you? So you're running 2.5 hours a day, 5 days a week, just for practice. And you run around your neighborhood or whatever.
It varies. So like each day is a different plan. So I might have just a 6 mile run, which I consider a short run, because those are what are known as recovery runs. And the other 2 days, so that's 3 days a week, and the other 2 days, one is going to be focused on speed, where I've got to hit my race pace, and that's a really hard run that I really never look forward to. I just force myself to get out and do it. And then I have a long run, which can vary anywhere between 12 and 22 miles.
But I guess my question is what do you get bored on the runs?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, because that's a lot of time that you're not doing anything except for just running. I mean, to think that you are possibly running, I mean, I'm just trying to think of how many hours a week you are just on the street or on the road running. It's something like 10 hours or something, right? Or less, maybe 8. So you don't listen to anything.
No
music.
No,
no podcasts.
I don't. I've done it and it helps, but I just don't like to have anything in my ears usually while I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of focus in on how I'm feeling.
Is it distracting?
I mean,
do you need to be focused?
To an extent. I mean, I'm not against it. I can have, one ear pod in if I want, and I can listen to a podcast that way, but
what about music, though? What kind of music would be fun to listen to? MC Hammer or Michael Jackson?
Maybe Michael Jackson.
Do you remember this? I was thinking about this the other day. Do you remember when the black or white music video came out?
I remember that.
And those people's faces are changing and stuff at the end. Do you remember when we tried to recreate that? Do you remember that? We had the song playing. And then we got the sheet.
Oh, and we
were put the sheet up and then put the sheet back down, and we would have a different face or whatever.
Our facial expressions.
But you and I switched off. You know what I mean? But we were also mimicking the video too. So there's the one woman who's going, kind of going like, make it open her mouth and stuff and tilting her head in funny ways. That was so funny. But
gosh, that music video still holds up as far as the effects that they use on that. It still looks good.
Oh yeah. Oh no, that thing at the end.
Yeah,
that was cool.
definitely.
Yeah, it does look good. Yeah. I think we are also imitating the scene afterwards where he's breaking all this stuff. Like. And then so you're not listening to anything. So what are you doing in that time? Are you just thinking?
Well, I play mental games. First, mentally, what I'll do is I'll break up my run. So if I have to run like a 16-mile run tomorrow, which I'm doing tomorrow, I will probably, do 5 miles in one direction and come back, and then 5 miles in another direction, come back, and then finish it up with, maybe 6 miles in another. That way, I feel like I'm breaking it up into threes in different areas.
Okay, but you're playing mental games while you're running?
Yeah.
What games?
Just that's what I mean. Like
no. I mean, what are you doing with when you're just running? What are you doing? You're running obviously, but what do you?
Oh, in the moment?
Yeah, in the moment. Are you thinking about stuff? Or are you?
I might.
What do you?
I don't know. I might think about processes, or things that need to get done.
I mean, in your life?
In my
Okay, yeah.
I might just.
What do you mean by processes?
I don't know. What I mean is maybe.
You're thinking about the inner workings of, say, a television. How does it work? How does it? There's a retina on the TV, like processes of machinery or processes of
maybe just
the body.
Just like things in life that I might need to get done on a regular basis.
So you're kind of going through your to-do list or something.
Possibly, yeah.
What else? I mean, is that okay? Do you start thinking about? You start getting kind of reflective about your life, and what you're. I don't know. Are you thinking about? Do you think about the past or the future?
Yeah, maybe about things in the future.
Do you think about the past? Do you think when you're running about recreating the black or white music video?
I have thought about that at least 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Okay, so you're thinking about the future, obviously, because it's stuff you need to do. But you do. How far back do you actually think about if you are thinking about the past? I mean, it's just,
I don't know. It could be like maybe how we would go to Disneyland, as kids.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of maybe reliving a moment. And
oh, you do relive moments when you're on when you're running?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I could think of something like I do remember pictures that we had taken. Mm-hmm.
I remember those pictures you sent me in the mail. That there was one. It was this one time we went to Disneyland, and I took a picture with Captain Hook. Remember that one?
I think I remember that.
And then also there's a picture of me that you took of me getting out of the Matterhorn bobsled, and there's a woman who's working there.
Yeah.
She
I remember that moment.
Oh, really?
I wish I could find. Do you have that?
Yeah,
picture
I have the picture.
Yeah. She. I said. I remember asking her, "Can I take his picture?" And her answer was no. She needed us to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And having worked that attraction myself, I understand. Why she wanted us out, because they need to move that along. But, But I remember that, and so I took your picture. Like you were like kind of like
in the process of getting out.
Yeah. And she's like, isn't she looking at the camera?
She's in it. Yeah. She's definitely in the shot.
She's like, is she pointing like to get out?
She might be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you liked Disneyland a lot growing up, and so did I. And then when you were 16, you started working there?
I was actually 17 and about to graduate high school.
Yeah. And then you ended up working there because you liked Disneyland so much. Basically, you still work there. But it's not your main job. You do that for fun because you like it.
Right. It's just I went back to work there on the weekends.
Yeah, he just goes. So Ryan has he's an editor. He has a job during the week, and then on the weekends for fun. You've been working there now for 30 something years, right?
I'm actually on my 25th year.
Oh, 20. Okay, I thought it was 30.
Yeah,
something.
they actually. I was actually.
Oh, did you take a TAMF?
I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
I was working there originally in '95,
Yeah.
and then I quit in 2002. And then a friend of mine said, "Hey, if you want to come back, they're hiring if you just want to work here on the weekends."
Oh.
And I immediately jumped at the chance, and I went back in 2007 to do that.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that ever since. And they actually bridged both terms of employment together.
Yeah.
And so now combined, I'm at 25.
Yeah, and then when you hit how many years, you get a special kind of golden pass or something? When do you hit the golden?
I don't
year?
think there's a golden pass for
Oh,
anybody
really?
who works there.
I thought so. I
yeah.
thought at a certain point there's some kind of special thing that happens.
Oh, well, at 15 years, your blue main entrance pass which is limited to 16 uses per year, turns into silver, which is an unlimited entries. But please do not call me to ask you to get into Disneyland.
So do you do you still enjoy working at Disneyland?
Yeah, it's still fun. It's changed over the years.
Yeah.
You know, I remember my earlier years there.
Are you adverse to change?
Some changes good, some changes not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing I like about Disneyland a lot is I like the attractions that are unchanged or barely changed since they came out, because I love the time capsule aspect of Disneyland, and that you can kind of be teleported a little bit to the past.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a fun. It takes you to a place, you know, and it doesn't feel. There's parts of Disneyland that don't feel modern to me. That's a benefit to me. I mean, that's what I like about it, you know. But I don't like it when they try to update stuff, you know. You told me about at Disney World they tried to update the Tiki Room.
Yeah.
And they put Iago in there or whatever, and then they updated the songs to be modern songs, and then people complained about it. Yeah. And they changed it back.
I think they changed it back.
Yeah. That's cool. That's good.
I haven't been on that one in a while since that time, but last I heard, it went back to the original show.
And by the way, you know, whatever. Speaking of the Tiki Room, I mean, if you haven't already, there's this video of me doing this kind of Dole Whip, talking about the Dole Whip. Okay? The Dole Whip is a special treat that's at Disneyland, and Disneyland only. And I guess it will, or maybe you can get in other places. All right, thanks. Anyway, there's a video, and Ryan took that video that is, and it's, you know, I'm talking about the Dole Whip. And I get a Dole Whip, and you can see what happens, you know?
It's very well known to Disney parks.
Actually, we'll cut to it now. Hi, I'm at Disneyland in Anaheim, California, here for the Dole Pineapple Whip, which is a very popular item at the park. The only other place in the world you can find it is at Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida, to make this a very unique Disney treat. What a clip. What a clip.
I remember it well.
That's part two. The first one was... Actually, this is the order it should be in. You should watch the Mint Julep video first, and then you watch the Dole Whip video. Dole Whip is part two. A lot of people don't know that. They'll see the Dole Whip video first, you know?
Yeah.
There's another video at Disney World of me playing the washboard. How about that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Just, you know, really displaying my my experience and...
Well, it's your musical background.
Yeah, expressing my deep musical background, playing the washboard. So working there for that long, do you know a lot of secrets?
There are a few things that I know, but
And you know what? Actually, why don't we do this? I'm gonna wrap up this episode actually, and then
Okay.
we'll go unzipped.
Okay.
Okay, unzipped is this bonus thing for the Patreon members, you know.
Okay.
And if you want to join in on this, we didn't really get to talk about Disneyland that much, you know, but we're gonna get way more into Disneyland, Disney parks in general, actually.
Okay.
And if you want to join us, go to patreon.com/poundcast, and you get extended episodes there, and it's fun. We go deep, and you get the episodes a couple days early, and I don't know, they're mostly ad free, except for there's just one ad on there. It's a short ad, 1 minute in the middle. It's no big deal, and that's about it. Look, I want to thank Cousin Ryan for joining us here today.
Thank you, Cousin Brent. Really appreciate it.
Is there anything, I don't know, is there anything you want to promote or anything you want people to check out or anything? You know, check out the Boston Marathon. You might see him, you know.
Yeah, you could actually.
Yeah, just type in Cousin Ryan.
Yes, Cousin Ryan.
But no, it's Ryan Patterson. If you
Yes.
want to look him up, Ryan Patterson, Boston Marathon. Check him out. He'll be out there on the streets of Boston, and that's his favorite marathon.
You can follow me on Instagram if you like. It's at Real Ryan Patterson.
There you go.
You know, and I'll be posting there for sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you to Aaron Bruntgart behind the boards.
Thank you, Aaron.
And thank you to Jack Birch behind the other boards. And also thank you to All Things Comedy. And yeah, I think the next episode is going to be well, I'll talk about it on the next episode, but that's going to be the last episode that we shoot in this space. So I'm going to try to do some kind of big blowout episode. Yeah, we'll see you. And if you want to watch the show, you can watch a video of it on youtube.com/thepoundcast. And there's also an Instagram account, The Poundcast. Okay, that's it. I'm Brent Weinbach. We'll see you in just a little bit over here with the extended Unzipped. And otherwise, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.